Welcome to part one of our latest vlog series where you're going to get to see behind the scenes what the OTT crew is up to in the hobby. If you want to see part two, come across to OnTableTop.com where it's up and ready for the cult of games.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new vlog series. Welcome back, Justin. I noticed you've skived off for the last one so you didn't have to paint anything.
Medical condition.
Work shy. It's work shy, it's not a medical condition. This month we're going to be ploughing into Blood Valor, the World War I skirmish game from Firelock. Interesting system. I like it. This is my copy. I haven't got around to sending me one yet, so I bought my own. But it works off the basis of the Blood and Plunder system, which obviously we're familiar with, but with tweaks and changes. So decided to go ahead and do German and French for two reasons. One, I mean, Germany invaded France. Kind of seems like a no-brainer. And two, we had the miniatures.
Seems like a better reason.
Yeah, it is. So we had Wargames Atlantic's Germans and French plastics got sent to us to review when they first came out a while ago. So I looked at that, and then I had a look at list building. So if you're unfamiliar with Blood and Valor, it's a skirmish game from sort of mid to late war. Theoretically, you could use it for early war if you wanted to. The list building is very simple. You have core choices, which you must take. So you must take a command team and 2 rifle units. And then you have optional choices, which are minimum 0, maximum whatever you see there. However, you can only take one of these for each core choice you have. So having looked at that and then checked out the points values of requisite games, 150 points, small game. 200 points, slightly bigger game. 300 points, sort of your maximum size. They are not massive games.
Well, I mean, you don't play on like a 4x4, isn't it? A smaller battle space?
It starts at 3x3 and then goes 3x4 and then goes 3x6. So the width gets bigger, but the distance apart remains tight, like a tiger. So it's 56 points for a fully maxed out squad of 12 guys, roughly. And the plastic box from Wargames Atlantic gives you 36 people. So that's 3 full squads.
That's nice.
Or 6 half squads, or any combination thereof. So it's relatively cheap to get into, because if you're only paying 25 quid and you're getting most of an army, or you buy 2 boxes and you've got pretty much a whole army, you're flying. You can see my work in progress on the Germans down here. I've gone for a very simple system to make them easily identifiable, but this isn't actually required in the game. These could actually end up being anybody I want. But I've decided to make some stormtroopers by giving all the guys gas masks and doing the tortoiseshell pattern camo on their helmets. They're veterans, they're very distinctive, everybody sees them coming. I've got like 120 spare potato masher grenades at home because there are tons of them on the sprue. I might just end up painting a load of them separately and sticking them all over them, because I've seen photographs of them with just like 8 or 9 grenades tied to the front.
Quick question. I noticed on your little officer here, you went very detailed. Everybody getting that?
Yeah, I'm not doing that for anybody else. That's just how that one goes. My little ossifer with his cap. I have another one with the Prussian helmet, big pipe at home, which may get drafted in. These guys with the flat cap, the field hat, are going to be our irregulars. Again, they don't have to be regulars. I can run them as full regulars if I want to, but I thought if we run some inexperienced and want to be able to easily distinguish them on the tabletop, having a unit of 12 of those guys is the way to go. And then the ones with the standard sort of steel helm, which is just going to be in slate grey or German sort of grey, will be our regulars, our regulars. So you've got inexperienced, standard troops, and then our super exciting stormtrooper types for support. So that's kind of how the plastics from Wargames Atlantic are going. Now, they have got the Atlantic Digital, but so far I think we've only got a World War I field hospital. Haven't actually seen any other stuff yet. I have been asking Charlie for things, but I haven't had a chance to put a big list through to him yet to get them to sculpt it. So I picked up a few metal things to tie in. So I got a machine gun team. That's from, in fact, all of the German supplementals come via the medium of Great War miniatures. out of North Star. So machine gun team, I've got to replace the barrel because the barrel was misshapen when it arrived, so I've drilled a hole in there for the time being until I replace it. And then I actually put a sniper in the list for 20 points, but I haven't got a sniper, and I want a sniper in trench armour with the big metally helmet and stuff on it. Mm-hmm. But when I bought this, because this was just a pack, machine gun, flamethrower, and then that's a tank gewehr, tank rifle. They've actually added the tank rifle to the list in the new book, which I've just got the copy of the PDF. So out went the sniper for 20 points, and in came the tank rifle for 20 points. Winner. And you can see they actually, size-wise, they're quite close in height. A little bit finer, but it means you can mix and match them without too much problem. I don't think anybody's going to be spotting them on the tabletop. They'll blend quite nicely when they're all painted.
Well, here's the thing. Most people are different heights.
That doesn't sound right. So we've got like 250, 260 points, that type of thing.
Whoa. So that's actually a fair chunk of a force.
Well, not there. When I include all 3 12-man squads, plus the 8-man that, plus this, blah, 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 plus, okay. plus. So a box plus a blister pack. You can get an entire army for like 30 quid.
That's pretty damn reasonable in this day and age.
Yeah, well, you can get a Steel Legion Sergeant for £19, so I think that's comparatively the same. Another thing that's happened with the new End of Empires book, which I've reviewed this week actually on the site, if you haven't seen it, is they put a couple of tweaks in for the standard core force. One is grenades. Grenades are one-offs, so you can't spam grenades by buying for like 6 points, buying it for a whole unit, and then just chuck them every turn to do ultimate damage. Once your grenades have been launched, that's gone. Mm-hmm. But the other thing was barrages. You can get off-table smoke and artillery barrage as support.
So mess somebody up before you even start rolling dice?
No, you use them in game. So when you come to activate a unit, you choose to activate that from off-table and it's gone. However, because they are one shot and they take up a support choice, not many people were taking them. So as a sort of an errata FAQ update type of thing, what they've done is you're still limited by your options as to how many you can take, but they no longer require to be unlocked as a support.
So basically you have core units that then unlock support choices, and then to the side of it, another line for these?
Yeah. Well, you essentially just, if you want to take a barrage, you can take a barrage, and you don't have to worry about the fact that you can't take another unit or a machine gun or whatever, because you're limited on how many unlocks you can have. It stops people just spamming lots of little tiny units as well just to get unlocks, I suppose, which is good. Yeah. I like big units.
Yeah, I mean, you want some big gun lines in this to have the proper feel for World War One. I mean, are we going to have to do trench tables for this, or do you want to do something a bit more, up near the French, forestry, or, maybe some hills and stuff around there?
I'm definitely not doing a trench table because I don't want to do a trench table because they suck. But the whole idea is this is a skirmish game that's away from the trenches. There was an awful lot of World War One that didn't take place in the trenches, so that's key. There is a new tunnel fighting scenario for doing the tunnel fighters laying the mines under the trenches.
So like beneath L60?
Yeah.
The movie?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So it's in the new book as well. So we might do that because it's very small, like 15 men aside or 10 men aside, working as individuals, not working as units, just going in and ploughing into each other. So we might have to do a little tunnely board. I haven't quite decided how that's going to work yet.
See, if I could actually talk to some of our buddies with laser cutters, do it as like... you actually have mine pieces that you're lifting out of the table. So you're actually mining as you go through and do it as a modular piece. You
do the same with foam, just stick your fingers in and gouge it out as you walk forward, but it'll be the bluest dirt you've ever seen in your life if we do it that way.
Well, that or the pinkest.
Well, yeah. So that's Germans. Germans, obviously, you probably can't tell from this, but my Germans fade as well. So the fadest German grey as the veterans, and then the regular ones are slightly more greenish, and then the new guys with the field hats have got the brightest coloured tunics because they haven't been washed out yet. That was just me because I was experimenting with what colour shades to use. Not doing that for the French. French are going to be blue. I've bought I think it's an AK Triad for painting the French, they're all going to get airbrushed in 3-tone. Shade, base, highlight, done. So it should be relatively quick.
So what the plan for this one is, you're doing all the base colours and then bringing it into us to do a day of detailing work as a team?
Yeah, because it shouldn't take too long. We can just start slapping down colours and stuff. The skin tones on those guys, the ones that have got the skin tones, were done using the Army Painter one, which is remarkably quick and a nice finish on it. It is just a basic shade and then just walk away. You don't even have to highlight. So I'm quite happy with how the Army Painter skin tones work. But for Frenchies, same sort of thing. I've got 2 boxes of these. Great War French, interesting fellows. If we were playing very early, then you could obviously have the red pants, red hats, navy greatcoats that sort of came screaming out of Prussia. As it is, I will not be doing that because it's a bit too early for what we've got. Most of the guys will be in that horizon blue French outfit. But as you can see, there's 2, 4, 6 guys plus a little ossifer who looks like Charles de Gaulle with his cheese. Which means that every box has got like a ton of officers. Now I've looked, NCOs and privates wore something similar as well when they weren't wearing greatcoats, so I'm not sure if we'll use many of those or if we'll just use them to make up things like the commander's squadron, that sort of thing. But I will be including a unit of Senegal Trelor, so they can be charging into trenches and cutting people up. And there we have options, because on the box you can see them in khaki. When they arrived in France, they were wearing a sort of khaki colour, and then they got given like old school navy puttees and other bits and pieces from the French for fighting in the Western Front, and then they went away for a while to Gallipoli and came back in the sort of the khaki affair. So I like the idea that we'll have all the horizon blue and then maybe go for the khaki, or maybe go for khaki with like the navy puttees on them, that sort of thing, just to change it up a little.
That could be interesting. It really depends on how much time we have and how much you think we can get through.
Well, definitely getting through that. I'll do them myself just because I want to see how it works. There's also the options in here to do African American guys. I'm not. 2 reasons. One, they take up a support slot the same as the Senegalese, and secondly, I want to wait for the American uniforms to come out, so I'm going to save all of the French helmeted heads and then swap them onto the American uniforms to do the Harlem Hellfighters. So that it's a second beefy, punchy charging option.
Now I wonder if we're going to see the BAR or the Shona. We'll see which one they go for whenever they actually make this kit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when the Yanks are coming. Again, I've reached out.
Well, at the end.
Well, so is this how this goes? I've reached out and touched another company to get Frenchies. Great War Miniatures didn't do what I wanted. So you're trying to find things like Hotchkiss, heavy machine guns and things like that. Pain in the backside. These come from Scarab Miniatures. So we've got a Hotchkiss and we've got a 37mm support gun as well. So a trench gun where you can just manhandle it forward and then just lob massive shells practically horizontally across the trench into your opponent. It's a good way of taking out machine gun teams. So again,
or anything in that general direction.
Yeah, it's a way to do things. But we're going to end up with something similar. So we're going to end up with about 30 to 40 models a side, plus the support weapons, so maybe 50 men each side, and that is not far off a maximum 300 points. It's a good 260 to 280 points. Nice.
Okay, so we're going to be playing what's considered larger games within Blood and Valor then, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm very impressed. What's got me really curious, I do want to sit down and have a look at the rules to see how they've actually modernized the weaponry from Blood and Plunder, because, black powder versus a cartridge rifle, very different.
Yeah, well, things like reloads go out the window. You don't have to worry about those so much, and the amount of times you spend clicking and clacking to actually kill people. It's more just run and gun to your heart's content. Then you're more worried about the fatigue side of things.
Are we doing a tank? Because I do know they're in that book.
We'll see when these are built. Keep an eye. Maybe next week's vlog we'll have a better idea of where we're going. There may or may not be tanks involved. Shay may or may not be press ganged into printing one. Who knows? How do you feel about that, Shay? Yeah, I believe you.
I'm just saying, you know, we have John in the studio. If there's no tanks, we're going to lose him.
The thumb goes up from Shay, but I can see his face. Anyway, so that's where we're at for Blood and Valor. It'll give us plenty of options to play with as well in future, so we can play smaller games, mix up what the squads are like, that sort of thing. We've got plenty to mess around with. It's just a case of getting the paint on the minis now.
Yeah, and when we have 2 core forces ready and done, the size of this game, it won't be too hard to expand whenever the other factions come further down the line.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the British, just so I can do the black and tans against the IRA as well, because the lists for those are in the new book.
Serious?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, End of Empires, it's all about all the rest of World War One, plus everything that went wrong after World War One, because people didn't have any soldiers left. Right, that's enough from us. Over to you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you know where German sniper and trench armour lives, because I really want one for the force. I just haven't found it yet. And we'll be back again next week. Tally bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.